I know it is Sunday, and today is Sunday school, and very often, at Constance's request, I dress up in a dress shirt and tie for Sunday school, just to show my respect for uh, Constance. Anyway, Uh, so I'm in my Atlantis bookshop T-shirt that they gave me a number of years ago. Here, I'll show you what it is. In 2008, it was the Lawn in London tour, and I don't know if you can see the back, but here's the whole list of all of the places in the UK I visited. And anyway, so I'm in my T-shirt, my Sunday best T-shirt, because it's hotter than hell out there. So we'll just start off with the Sunday school sermon, Hell. Do you know what hell is? Come in and hear our organist. Anyway, going to talk about something mysterious today. If you read the title of today's talk, it is the KRYPTOS, the CIA, and Magic and Masonic initiation. A most unusual work of art adorns the main entrance and courtyard of the new headquarters building of the Central Intelligence Agency in Langley, Virginia, near Washington, D.C. It is a multifaceted sculpture made of lodestone, polished red granite, quartz, copper plate, and petrified wood. It was commissioned in November of 1988 as part of the Art in Architecture program of the General Services Administration. The task of selecting the artist fell to a joint committee of members of the CIA Fine Arts Council. The CIA has a Fine Arts Council. And the National Endowment for the Arts, who chose local artist James Sanborn, a Washington, D.C. native, to receive $250,000 commission to execute the design he called the KRYPTOS, Greek for hidden. Now, to quote James Sanborn, he said, "They will be able to read what I wrote, but what I wrote is a mystery itself." Mr. Sanborn certainly did his homework, preparing the design and the materials for his work that's intended to serve as an elaborate example of the art of information encryptation. Encryption. It's a longer word than it sounds. He studied for months with retired CIA cryptographer Ed Scheidt. I'm sure it's just a Scheidt. Incidentally, I'm reading from my book, The Key to Solomon's Key. Subtitle was Secrets of Magic and Masonry. And the newest edition is this the lost symbol of Masonry? Do you have it? If you do you have another one you can give your friend? It'll certainly make the publisher and me both happy. Anyway, but I digress. Let's see. He studied with CIA cryptographer Ed Scheid before setting to work on the sculpture that incorporates a 12-foot copper scroll punched through with thousands of letters. Now, I posted a photograph of it on my Facebook page this morning. Since its unveiling in 1990, professional and amateur cryptographers have been obsessed with its solution. But interest in the KRYPTOS reached a fever pitch in 2003 when best-selling author Dan Brown, of course, referenced it on the dust jacket of his wildly popular Da Vinci Code. About 75% of the KRYPTOS has now been deciphered. Amid tantalizing quotes from the Diary of Howard Carter, the discoverer of Tutankhamun's tomb, are references that suggest that something important is buried on the grounds of the CIA headquarters. The deciphered code suggests that only, quote, WW, and that is likely a reference to CIA Director William Webster. And it suggests that he knows the precise location. Unfortunately, Webster obviously doesn't think much of the secret treasure, for at least that's what he would have us believe. Since leaving the agency, he told reporters, "I have zero memory of this. It was philosophical and obscure." Couldn't many of us say the same thing about our lives? For those of us who are passionately interested in things philosophical and obscure, Webster's words come as no surprise, and even less a deterrent to speculation. Indeed, for anyone who carries, excuse me, it is so hot and dry and full of pollen and everything. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, otherwise I sound like Biden. Ah. Enough of that. Okay. Let's see. Webster's words come as no surprise, even less a deterrent to speculation. Indeed, for anyone who cares to investigate the entire city of Washington, D.C., the curious and precise layout of her streets, the sacred geometry of her civic buildings and monuments that just teem with Masonic and occult symbolism. It's true. My dear departed late great James Wasserman wrote a book called something about Masonic Washington, with wonderful photographs and stuff too. All present a gigantic mystery in stone, a mystery that reaches back to the birth of our nation and principles and traditions upon which it was founded. It is no secret that many of the founding fathers of the United States were Freemasons. 16% of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, 33% of the signers of the Constitution, George Washington, and a full 46% of the generals in the Continental Army were members of the fraternity. The cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol building was laid with full Masonic ceremony by George Washington himself, arrayed in full Masonic regalia. Masonry's influence goes beyond the lodge room. 14 American presidents were Freemasons, and nearly 2/3 of all Supreme Court justices. This was at the time I wrote this. I'm sure that percentage has dropped. Our language is peppered with Masonic terms and phrases. On the level, a square deal, eavesdrop, blackball, shibboleth. When police roughly interrogate a suspect, they are said to give him the third degree. Give him the third degree, Joe. Get out your sap. When a judge or the chairman of a meeting uses a gavel, or when we are called upon to swear upon the Bible, even when we shake hands to seal a deal, we are using Masonic devices. Indeed, until 1827, when a scandal tarred the fraternity's reputation, Freemasonry was, for all intents and purposes, America's civic religion. Masonry is still alive in the 21st century, and for the time being remains the world's largest fraternal order. As a service organization, it's one of the most generous charitable institutions in the world, donating more than $1 million a day to various charities. There's no question, however, that her roles are swiftly diminishing in a fast-paced new millennium. Now, when I wrote this, what was it, 20 years ago? When did I write it? It was, that was the case. And I'm happy to say that has slowly begun to turn around. 14 years ago, I wrote this in 2010. The numbers are leveling out and raising, actually, or rising. Let's see. Masonic membership is no longer considered a requirement for men of business or political or military ambition. Numbers, however, can be deceiving. While it's true Masonic lodges are closing daily and fewer men are attracted to the fraternity, a significant number of those who are joining are passionately interested in the esoteric and mystical aspects of the craft, subjects that have been ignored, misunderstood, even ridiculed by the vast majority of their older brethren who came of Masonic age in the 20th century. These young esoteric Masons do not view the craft as just another service organization with quaint traditions and ceremonies. They do not enter her ageless and sacred doors in order to exploit opportunities for business or political networking. They come on a personal spiritual quest to be initiated into the Western mystery traditions. Some, including myself, go so far as to view our involvement in the craft as a magical initiation. Okay. The term initiation is often misunderstood. It's not merely an ordeal of passage or a formal induction ceremony. It's a new beginning, an awakening, a step we take when we have made the conscious decision to move forward in something, to become more than we are. While spiritual in nature, initiation differs from religion in a very fundamental way. In my book, Angels, Demons, and Gods of the New Millennium, I try to briefly explain. Initiation is a commencement, not a reward for achievement, not a seal of attainment, not a trophy of adeptship. Initiation is a beginning, And when we evoke a beginning, we also by necessity conjure an ending. Death is the inevitable penalty we pay for allowing ourselves to be born. And the honor of life's journey between these two great pylons is the only compensation for this fate. The uninitiated neither invoke birth nor life nor, the uninitiated invoke neither birth nor life nor death. They like sleepwalkers. Our numbed steps bear us comatose from cradle to grave. Our pale shadow lives pantomime, but never experience the adventures of the initiate's journey. Like other mammals, we're born and live and die, but unless we make a conscious effort to wake up, unless we harness and focus the power of our wills to take the first step towards spiritual renewal, we will not, as the poet Homer said, we will not receive our share of the right. We will not have the same lot as the initiate once we are dead and dwell in the mold where the sun goes down. Prostitution may be the oldest profession in the world, but the oldest spiritual institution is most certainly the initiatory society. To those who would argue that religion holds this august position, I must respectfully disagree. Religion merely haunts the outer courts of the great initiatory temple and holds mystery at arm's length. From the occasional thread of truth carried by the wind from the initiatory chamber, religion psychotically weaves and reweaves doctrines and dogma, tapestries of hope and hate and perpetual distraction. Religion exalts mystery as an unknowable secret that must be sealed in glass like the corpse of an enchanted princess and fearfully worshipped from afar. Initiation, on the other hand, requires direct participation and demands each of us to smash the casket and press mad lips to mystery, wooing her as a lover who will offer up her treasures in a succession of sweet surrenders. This she will do, but only in exact ratio of our evolving ability and worthiness to receive the same. For this new generation of Masonic initiates, the secrets of the craft are not the steps, signs, tokens, and secret passwords of a quaint service organization, but they concern a fundamental, more profound secret concerning the history of civilization and the nature of the human soul. A treasure hidden for centuries, a mystery waiting to be brought to light by anyone bold enough to draw the veil. The partially decoded KRYPTOS teases us with a thrilling and poignant taste of the ecstasy of such a discovery by quoting from the diary of archaeologist Howard Carter, the discoverer of the tomb of Tutankhamun. Quote, "At first I could see nothing." And this is chiseled into the KRYPTOS, okay? "At first I could see nothing. The hot air escaping from the chamber caused the candle to flicker. But as my eyes grew accustomed to the gloom, presently details of the room within emerged slowly from the mist. Strange statues and animals and gold, everywhere the glint of gold. For the moment, an eternity it must have seemed to those standing by. I was struck dumb with amazement. And when Lord Carnarvon, unable to stand the suspense any longer, inquired anxiously, "Can you see anything?" It was all I could do to get out the words, "Yes, wonderful things." Masonry's rituals, symbols, and traditions stand like the KRYPTOS, a partially decoded, multi-layered mystery that offers the magical promise of wonderful things, and a supreme spiritual treasure for those brave souls who are not only willing to dig, but sufficiently prepared to understand and appreciate the full impact of a great secret. And that's Sunday School for today. I'll leave you with the KRYPTOS. I'm going to spend full time trying to stay cool today, and I hope you do the same. I understand there has been terrible, terrible storms in the Midwest. I hope everybody is safe. Constance's relatives are sending photographs of whole forests in Omaha, laid waste, trees over the roads and things like that. So I won't complain about the weather when you guys are experiencing things like that. Anyway, that's Sunday School. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Until then, continue to be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. And if you do want a Sunday school lesson, a Bible lesson, turn your Bibles to Ezekiel 23:20.